Coming up on today's Chiefs Report, could Kansas City trade for Deebo Samuel? He has wiped all things 49ers on social media. We will explain and explore that momentarily. Also, a top wide receiver prospect, George Pickens, visited Kansas City today on a draft visit. Could he be a potential addition at the wide receiver spot? Plus, could the Chiefs sign a veteran pass rusher? We will explain and explore who that player is as well. Jam-packed show. Don't miss any of it here on today's Chiefs Report. You're watching the Chiefs Report by Chat Sports. Appreciate you guys for tuning in to today's show. I'm your host, Harrison Graham. We'll start off with Deebo Samuel as a potential trade target as he may or may not be available. There's been some trade buzz around him, but up to this point, it hadn't been considered serious. Maybe it is now. He wiped his Instagram account of all 49ers-related posts, plus unfollowed the 49ers on Instagram as well. He's entering the final year of his rookie deal. You've got all these receivers in that same boat, A.J. Brown, DK Metcalf, all these guys wanting to cash in and get new deals because they've seen Tyreek Hill get $30 million per year, Devontae Adams get $28 million. Hell, Christian Kirk signing for almost $20 million per year as well. Could the Chiefs get in the mix and make a trade offer for Deebo Samuel? Well, let me first just say this. I am a huge Deebo Samuel fan. He does a little bit of everything. He's explosive after the catch. He's a good route runner. You can put him at running back. He can return kicks if you want him to. He is a do-it-all player on offense. And don't believe me? Well, look at the numbers from last year. 77 catches, 1,400-plus yards, over 18 yards a catch. Also had 6 touchdowns in Kyle Shanahan's offense. And in the second half of the season especially, they started to use him out of the backfield due to necessity, but also due to the creativity of, hey, this guy is built like a running back, and he can take some of those blows. Now, I don't think Deebo Samuel, who averaged 6.5 yards per carry on the ground, is a guy that for the next 8 years is going to be a guy who gives you 50, 60, 70 carries, but 20, 30 carries, use him here and there as a running back, use him as a jet sweep guy. He does it all in today's NFL on offense. That's why he wants a new deal, because he feels like he is worthy of $20, maybe $25 million per year. I'm interested. I'm intrigued. This is going to be fascinating. When these athletes wipe their social media from team-related stuff, they want something. And Deebo Samuel wants his money, and we'll see if the 49ers pay up or if they consider trading him. Should the Chiefs trade for Deebo Samuel if he is indeed available? Type T for trade, type P for pass. This will be the pinned comment on today's show, so if you get hit with a YouTube ad break, scroll on down and answer this question. T for trade, P for pass. Talk about how Deebo could fit into this offense. He instantly becomes your number one receiver, and everyone kicks back a spot. And I think that's kind of what you're hoping for. Juju's a good 2. McColl's a good 3. Valdes-Scantling is just a, give us 30 snaps a game as a elite deep threat guy. I think he'll have an expanded role because they paid him to do more. But if he's your number 3 or 4, depending on where you feel about him and Hardman next to each other, that's pretty damn good. If you replace Tyreek Hill with Deebo Samuel, that's pretty nice. Now, in the end, I probably would have just paid Tyreek, but Deebo's younger. He may even be more versatile. Now he's less explosive. He's not quite as pure fast and twitchy as Tyreek Hill, but make no mistake, Deebo Samuel is one of the best offensive players in the National Football League. He's proven that over the past few years. He definitely proved it this year. He put up those numbers with Jimmy Garoppolo at quarterback. What could he do with Patrick Mahomes? It's fun to think about. It's fun to explore. That's why we're talking about it on the Chiefs Report. If you love the Chiefs, this is the channel for you. Go ahead and subscribe and turn on those notifications. We're publishing videos every single day around the latest Chiefs news, rumors, trade buzz, like when, stories like this pop out there, we explore them as well. Major NFL headlines that could impact the Chiefs, we're covering that as well. YouTube.com/ChiefsTV. Don't miss any of it. Go ahead and subscribe. From one receiver to another, George Pickens made a visit, the draft prospect out of Georgia. He visited Kansas City on Thursday as one of their top 30 visits. Considered a round 2 prospects by most prospect by most analysts, I would say. I've seen him go as early as the, early mid-30s, as late as the, late second round. Maybe he sneaks into round one, but I think there's better wide receiver prospects. And look, the Chiefs are obviously in the market for a wide receiver, whether it's in free agency, the draft, or via trade. They are looking. I like George Pickens. I think he actually has wide receiver one potential, but I wouldn't take him in the first round. We haven't seen him enough in college. He has some injuries to point to as well. I think there's better players in this draft, quite frankly. Like, I would not pick him at 29 or 30. Now, if he's there at 50 in round two, sure. Or if you trade down from 39 or from 29 or 30, or trade up from 50 to the 40s, like, yeah, I would take him in the second round, but I don't think I would spend one of my first two draft picks on George Pickens. More on him in a moment. But speaking of the draft, we got draft hats available for you guys, and the link right there, chatsports.com/ChiefsDraft, is the place to go to find the Chiefs draft hats this year. Go check them out before draft night. Represent the Kansas City Chiefs. Link in the comments and in the description, chatsports.com/ChiefsDraft. Go ahead and get going today. More on Pickens. When he's played, he's been an impact guy, 15 yards a catch. He's a big physical guy that can also run pretty well, also jump balls. He can go up and get them. But, those numbers are like one elite season. He did that over 3 seasons due to injuries and missed time. And in Georgia at times not being a potent passing offense. Some injury concerns, ACL tear on his record, which, Jamison Williams has that as well. But when he's played, he's been special. When George Pickens has played, he's been hit and miss. He showed big-time potential, but I don't think he's shown me enough to be a first-round player. Pick a wide receiver and really pick an option here. Would you rather trade for Deebo, which, obviously Deebo's better than Pickens, but you're giving up a lot of assets there if you do. Type DS if you would want to do that. If you'd rather just say, hey, I'll just draft George Pickens in the first or second round and not give up any extra assets, type GP if you want to go that route. Listen, I love Deebo Samuel. I might have to go that route if I'm Kansas City. All right, one more story here. Jerry Hughes, the veteran free agent pass rusher that we teased at the top of the show. Bleacher Report dropped an article recommending a free agent target for every single team. They had the Chiefs signing Jerry Hughes. Certainly past his prime, 33, 34 years old now, but he's been a consistent, productive player since he got drafted out of TCU. Basically averages 6 sacks a year for his career. He's a number 2 type of edge rusher. Only had 2 last year, but was a little banged up, more of a rotation guy. He could fill that Melvin Ingram void. I don't know if you want him being a, full-time starter, but maybe he starts but plays, 60% of the snaps, something like that. I think that could work. You could plug him in as your other defensive end opposite of Frank Clark. Michael Dana can rotate in, but I still think you want to draft a guy with a high upside that can come in, and even if he's not a 10-sack guy as a rookie, maybe he turns into that down the road, because Jerry Hughes isn't giving you 10 to 12 sacks. You're hoping, 4 to 6 is what he gives you after having just a pair of sacks last year, but had a couple of forced fumbles. Good player, and I still think he can be impactful, but just know that this is not, turning your pass rush from below average to incredible. That's just not what you're going to get if you go out and bring in Jerry Hughes in. What do you guys think? Should the Chiefs sign Jerry Hughes? Type Y for yes, type in for no. Again, he'll be cheap, fairly productive. I wouldn't mind it, but I would still want more at the edge position. Appreciate you guys for tuning in to today's show. We'll have more to come, including a video tomorrow on Friday, so stay tuned for that. Subscribe so you don't miss any of it. It's youtube.com/ChiefsTV. And don't forget to turn on that notification bell. That way you really never miss a video here on the Chiefs Report.